Welcome back to the Nomadic Twist Experiment. I'm Christopher Twist, and I've gone nomad. By this, I mean I'm hitting the road. I'm done feeling trapped in my own life. Pushed and pulled in every direction just to be held in place. By an idea, a concept of what it is to be happy, successful, a responsible adult, what it is to be a man. Not to be a failure, a loser, a bum, a waste of space, a formula, guidelines on how not to squander your life away. I have followed these guidelines to a certain extent and have had a pretty interesting, enjoyable, physically comfortable life. But I've always felt trapped. Mentally, I'm crawling out of my skin. My time, my energy, my money, my capacity, all focused and drained. So I can drive a car, go home to a nice, comfortable place, and stare into a flat, rectangular object with a wall behind it. Meanwhile, we desperately grasp for something to feel, for any kind of enjoyment, entertainment, and love. We all live with a void inside of us. It's the human condition. Some can fill that void easier and faster than others, but it's always temporary, with few exceptions. Then there are those who have a much bigger void, more capacity. I believe I am one of those people. I am finding it harder and harder over the years to truly enjoy things in a repetitive day-to-day life in one location. Most people in this world live, love, and die in the same corner of the earth they were born. I was well on my way to doing just that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but it must not be for me, because all I hear is that less traveled road calling me, and the sound is deafening. Come with me on this adventure, this voyage, this experiment, as I attempt to prove to you and myself that you don't need much money, if any, or much experience to go wherever you want to go. I've given away or sold most of my possessions. I've dropped a somewhat promising career in something I had no passion in. I narrowed my bills down to just a few things. I've got everything and more I need to live somewhat comfortably out of a backpack. I've got a little money in the bank, just in case. But it's mostly there to pay my few remaining monthly bills. I never had kids by choice. I'm a bachelor by choice. I'm free enough to be free, and I won't wait any longer. All that other stuff just felt like an elaborate, comfortable cage.
Does anybody want to go to the dog park? Dog park! Dog park!
mom's fairy garden. It lights up at night. Okay, so I grew up in this house right here, and one of the greatest things about living in this house, this right here, we live next to the water, and this is where we would go to play, basically, and it goes all the way through town. Farthest that we would go as kids was to this bridge right here, and then as we got older, it was the next bridge. But I thought it'd be interesting to show you how growing up we had limitations. Now I'm a grown man and I can go wherever I want to. I don't think most people actually ever get that realization that you can pretty much go wherever you want. You know what I mean? There's gonna be restrictions in some places you don't want to go. But this might be one of the reasons that I have this itch to explore, you know? I remember going through here the first time after we were allowed to go to the next bridge and just feeling that like excitement, like, oh my God, we're going further. For a long time now, I've been able to go wherever I want, but still felt trapped. Still felt like I can't go past the first bridge. But now there's nothing stopping me but me from going any direction I want to go. And I won't feel that pull back home, because nowhere is home for me right now. I don't feel like I belong anywhere. Okay, I belong out there, man, out there. Goes on into nothing. There's no city this way. We spent a lot of time down here in the wash growing up. And you always find something interesting, like, isn't this something you don't think you would see down here? Baby strollers anywhere without a baby in them are kind of creepy. But when you find them down in a place like this, it's just weird. We come down here, down the wash from our place, and then we get to this point. This was that scary point because this house, which is abandoned now, somebody lived there and this is their property. That guy would actually shoot guns in the air to scare us and yell at us and stuff like that. if you didn't know this about me, I have a thing about abandoned houses. If I get a chance, I'd like to go check out a place, because I think there's something awesome about a place like this, especially when you start thinking about how this used to be a home where people lived. When we were a kid, we were actually able to jump off of it. This is so much deeper than it used to be. It's crazy. And then once this got too deep, we had a trail that went around over here, but since then the wall has eroded, as you can see. So there's no way past today from this side. What a trip. How much things change. This wash is a big part of how I grew up to just want to explore, you know? Because we would go further and further, and we'd just come down here and be down here all day. Sometimes we'd camp down here. There'd be limitations, you know, to how far we would go. That would get further as we grew up. I can go as far as I want, you know what I mean? That way, that way, that way, that way. I mean, it seems simple, right? But I think most people don't realize how free they really are. So here we are at the creek. This is Ragnar's first time, and we used to come here a lot growing up. It's in the back corner of the town I grew up in, on the way up to Big Bear in Forest Falls. And there's this creek off Highway 38, and we'd come and we'd build big or small little pools like this, and we'd hang out or drink or have parties or all kinds of stuff. I've done a lot of things at this creek, and I've also come here a lot just to think, you know. Kind of one of those magical places growing up, you know, that you get to go and hang out with people at, or hang out by yourself, or you and your animals. This bridge used to mean one thing, and now it means something else. A friend of mine, Jason Richardson, was climbing around this bridge and fell and hit his head and put himself in a coma. And he eventually died. And he fell, I'm assuming, over here, down on the rocks, and his son was here and saw it. And it's just a very sad thing. He was a friend, he was a fan of the band. He was like our #1 fan. He was at almost every show we ever had. It's like something terrible happened here. I mean, it's still a great place, but it's like now it's a memorial for me and people who knew Jason. So this right here, this is the town I grew up in, Yucaipa. That's the mountain I moved to. Over here is like Mentone and Redlands.
school growing up, grade school. Actually went to kindergarten over there, and then 1 through 5 here. And it looks exactly the same, except there used to be a big tree right here. Man, they haven't changed this school at all. It's crazy.